this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of the hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and, mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Fosalor, will now begin!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history!
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness up to that, my accuser and fated opponent. Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... The ones who scoured the...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance?
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the opera epic class. The volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranis. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never...
You're welcome.
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Heart spent a massive amount of labor in Morat. We had to select a location, construct a giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path.
So, in other words, the earthquake that...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess, Nervilette, you gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made all so that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Floran, I must commend you for your courage.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we arrived onto the stage. Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of Evan. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first... I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I've been following. This is the first time Monsieur Nervilette had to deal with the Tui Harbinger. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed, and according to Monsieur Nervilette, both chat and the words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, nerd. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. Of course. It is only natural.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place. Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud? Hey.
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of Waters, Kindreds, Peoples, and the Laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far?
Yeah, I've never...
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since. See? Even the orange trees have decided to show me its favor. If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the law.
Well, I trust. And if I were...
First of all, you may be a member.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the maze? You'd sink so low as to use a...
A curse. I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble the type of curse, but in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your...
You thought it sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina is actually...
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been... Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the naked. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the god...
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your occurrence while the court is in session. The principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this case. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon? Well, now you're really... It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. And it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my...
You don't need to go that far.
tied to the Hydro Archon? Or...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone...
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how can they give up all their power?
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone! I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? Please? You got...
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents?
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydra, if you have no evidence of another Hydra Archon's existence, nor can you find any...
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can I refute it? It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being...
Miss Navi, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As ever, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of the seawater? If we were to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently. And Navia from the Sabina di Rasula.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a...
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course you have to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a
She's just staring at the water without saying.
What's going on? Is she really planning to... that's not what we thought.
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a...
Miss Seedwing? If you're present, Miss Seedwing, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Seedwing?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Seedwing.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Seedwing. Lady Farina, you may return to...
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved! Shouldn't that be enough?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater of Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, We don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low concentration. It's a great thing that the direct sample.
I can't believe you. Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an art also, if... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone who's stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render... According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct, then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences?
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out in the court, and it's been given to the very person who's worshipped as the god of justice?
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Marche wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going? Fremine!
You finally made it. I assume this means you completely...
Any mission Father assigns to me will always...
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the Knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate?
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get a ransom, but has the trial already concluded?
Then...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Femine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slip. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. We'd like you to come here and
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't a Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slips. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember. Describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, the second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon... This must be the point when the Hydro Archon... The third slate shows the Hydro Archon... That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster...
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater. If we hadn't dealt with it in time...
That doesn't sound...
It's not as simple when the... Perhaps what is in the truth and the... We know from the case of the cereal and the...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navi fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson, and the eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest that the stone slate's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we... it now, so that's how you can make some, but then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Weird.
All Fontainians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontainians could dissolve in primordial seawater. And and how all the girls' Vache dissolved were... Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved...
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first... That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be...
The Hydro Archon's true sin?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon...
Yeah! Isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once in the end? The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only if I might get all that right.
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you... However, while you were able to decode all the information when we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hint now that the slate collection is complete. I shall...
Well...
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the Fontaine of Old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanic familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro. However, even though water as an element is intricately not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiar. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating... But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the... Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history.
So you...
That's way too much information for me. Wait, but if that's the truth, you can't let the Hydro Archon be sent...
This really might be too much information.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth... A key point of the bit, they have not been dissolved. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as what you may also recall Navia's experience. Therefore, the meaning that the people of Fontaine shall try... Yes.
I think I'm following now. In truth, everything we've done has happened exactly...
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the...
Traveler, I would like to point out another about the fourth slate. However, I believe that as for the root cause of the catan... This eruption is just a small warning.
It was both a dream.
If we're talking about it...
The truth.
Was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tibet. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the prophecy, even if the entire...
We've already done. Come.
Indeed. I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Just as prophecy. Ultimately.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor. Why did
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else, too, if I was to stand any chance of the heavenly principle.
deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be one was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused, when that she knew full well that the prophecy would surely end as one of the seven. She also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over. Alone on the ocean, I had to outwit the heavenly principles. I'm a genius, I know. I can although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past. The me you see before you now is, she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to Do you still remember the finals? In order that the prop under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But no, instead, I suppose now you probably understand.
But Farina, even though she is not...
It has indeed. It's been fought all along. She's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, all right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just feel. I am Focalor, the eyes of countless Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Access denied.
One with nature. Clouds high. The birds come.
Dog, break forth!
We're way behind schedule. Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards! Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Please, purge!
As one with wind and cloud. Wind strike.
We have born of icy country.
Race to the wicked!
Farina. Farina.
Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're... Mirror me? Mirror me.
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all be
Oh.
What's... But...
I will tell you.
As for that, if there were...
I suppose that... Don't worry.
Play
That's right. If you can...
But...
Don't worry. Being a human, remember.
So...
To a combat.
A trial. What should I say to most of... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation as the god Fosalor, the god of justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or this should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully I was able to...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
She got all-powerful? She's so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Right. Miri said that I just need to play the role. Calm down, Farina. Think, assertive, with a strong sense of presence. Now, I was wondering if some weep... Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my... You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were in...
Personality. It's quite shocking. I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role they want me to. The scales of may Allah be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. There is no truth so long as I, the
Lady Farina,
Come besides.
if I may...
A man.
That's true, I...
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Farina.
No need. All right.
He's...
Lady Farina.
I see. It's as I thought that all manner of... Really?
I'm...
The day is finally over. It's good to see maybe this is fun.
Lady Farina, here...
They'll be...
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
Understood. I feel utterly...
Lady Farina, I've heard that Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the
No. So into hundreds of you never met. I want to try and do all I can do is keep up.
Farina, although I don't...
Share. That's impossible.
But even if you're just share it with me.
It is. And if Tibet... He's right. But if they know Farina... But what if Farina... Is it sad if you let this think about it long and hard? No. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to...
Fine.
So even Farina...
Yes, she did very well. If she had... It seems that trusting people...
I believe... How would you build...
Good. Of course the Eudex of Fontaine has... I'm sure you've lost...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard it. It now seems...
And then I became one with the old trees, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes. Alas, in truth, it is... Oh... my work, but really, the vast majority had to be.
It was all...
Indeed. This power accrued over 5 centuries, but only...
So they were retreat...
This was all done to return the authority above. No, what? The authority...
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite... Hydro Dragon. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And I, for my... Speaking of justice, I have always believed that just so, if the theft of the primordial sea, then... Leaving that, in other words, defying the prophecy at this point, Eudex Nurlet, the highest judge in our land.
So when I was at last, in the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries, things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nurlet. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Iudex Novellet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Was that bright lights?
But
It's time to end this. I have gained the strength. We should seize the opportunity to traveler. Now that the root of the calamities befall, come with me, traveler. Find a way to attack it from within. We shall share a part of the ancient dragon's teeth. We shall look for an opening together. With sorrow turning into hostility. The all-devouring gnaw cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Can't well present. I granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its roots from within.
Birds come! Wind strike!
Allow me!
Thanks for helping with the cleanup.
It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think... Oh, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at...
That power.
It's just that he gave us the impression that you...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree, that kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. All in all, it failed.
Miss Skirt?
The point being...
Well, being that this pet, so what sort of person is your master?
Oh, right. So you don't... His name is Sir Delogi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar.
Huh. So master isn't sufficiently famous.
The fowl?
Still nothing?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhyme Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is...
Wait, didn't you also mention a vision?
Actually, never mind that. I bet the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown in. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be...
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle! We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you right? The prophecy was wrong.
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete